Hello everyone, today we will be introducing about suffixes and prefixes, which includes technology. So a little bit about this lesson is surrounded by Ms. Baker's problem. And when she is absent, she assigns homework or an assignment, and her students do not complete the work, but she doesn't want them to get behind when she's gone. So to solve this problem of the substitute teacher, I have created a lesson which incorporates technology that may be able to help Ms. Baker. So a little bit about the class. She teaches 4th grade and she teaches English. The curriculum alignment for this assignment is Common Core Standard RF 43B, which addresses decoding words with common Latin suffixes. So to begin the lesson, begin by explaining that a root word is the base in which prefixes and suffixes are added. Then give examples of root words. Here are just a few of them. Of course, in the lesson on the technology that I will be introducing in a little bit, you will need to go in a little more detail, but this is just a couple of examples of what you can teach. So, for example, appear means to come to sight, take is to grab hold of something, polite is a respectful behavior. So, prefixes are added on to the beginning of words to change the meaning. For example, when you add the prefix dis, it means leaving sight when added to appear. It means to do the opposite of appear. And retake means grabbing hold of something again. So adding re means to do something again. And unpolite is the opposite of respectful behavior. So again, it is the reversal of the root word. And then you will need to move on to suffixes, and suffixes are added to the end of the root word in order to change meaning. So it is the opposite of a prefix. Whereas prefixes are added to the beginning of words, suffixes are added to the end of words. For example, in appear, if you add ing, appearing, it is the act of coming into sight. As in taken, you add en to the end of take, and it is the previous tense of grabbing something. And if you add ly to polite, it becomes politely, and it means in a respectful manner. So the first tool I'm going to be introducing is Powtoon, and you will need to select a theme. I've selected Modern Edge, as seen here, and you can go through and you can add your background, you can add text, you can add characters, you can add props, different shapes, your own images, you can add video links, music, sounds, recording of your voice, and you can even add special effects to create an overall visually appealing lesson. Here is an example of one I have created. And the visuals will show up on the screen, and you can add your own voice, and you can upload it to YouTube or any other streaming platform. But that's all we will watch about for now. But you can add a lot of things and really change up the lesson however you want. Some uses for Powtoon: you can use it to introduce lessons to students. And this is specific to this lesson, so when Miss Baker is gone, she can introduce new content under the supervision of a substitute. But you can also engage them with content and voice and visuals, so students will be able to hear her own voice and see what she is doing on the screen and follow along with her. As I said before, it can be under the guidance of substitutes, but she can also post this video online for students who are absent so they don't miss that content. The next tool I will be introducing is Scratch, and it is a computer coding where you move these little pieces right here, and you can drag them over to the center and change your character. You can change the depth, and you can change the action that the character is doing. You can also change the sound, the events, all of these options over here to create your own customized interactive quiz, and you can even play it by hitting this button right here and stop it. There's a lot that you can do with this, and it's very helpful. For this assignment, she can create a Scratch interactive quiz around the content of the prefixes, suffixes, and root words, and students can practice this content while she's not there. So she can even use this for any other lesson, but specifically for this lesson, she will do it for suffixes and prefixes. But it will entertain the students while learning, and it can be a great review for quizzes and tests at the end of the unit. Lastly, a helpful tool for Ms. Baker's problem would be interactive educational games. So this one is specific to suffixes and prefixes, where students have to identify the verb right here, and they will see this as a prefix. But there's a whole bunch of different games and options. And here's another example. This one's not for prefixes, but this is an example of how she can use it in other lessons to identify parts of speech. Educational games reinforce material taught by the teacher. They allow students to practice skills without her guidance. They can play them at home, they can play them at the computer lab, they can use it as review for a quiz, and there's also a wide variety of games, as I showed you before, and this can all be under the guidance of the substitute, so Ms. Baker does not have to be present, and her students will still learn. And lastly, to assess the students' learning from this lesson, she has several options. She can do a Google form, a worksheet, or a group discussion. For a Google form, she needs to go to Google and open her account and create as many questions as she likes. There's different question formats available, and this type of assessment will be given when the teacher returns, or she can have students complete the quiz at the end of the day with the substitute, and students just get on their iPad or take it at home. The next one is a worksheet. She prints out a worksheet and gives it to students during the presentation of the Powtoon. Students will follow along and fill out the answers as they go. And at the end of the day, they turn it into the substitute, and Ms. Baker will grade it to see if students actually paid attention. The last form of assessment would be a group discussion. This will be done when the teacher returns. If Ms. Baker has her students sit in a circle, they can talk about what they learned. Everyone has to participate, and she will give them a rubric which will be available to the students, and they know what they're supposed to say, but it will also be able to grade them and make sure they understood the content she has taught. That is all for my presentation. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you.